Hello, and welcome to another gaming review here on the YouTube channel for the Sanitarium.FM gamer radio station. I am PredictedCyborg, and today I'll be looking at a mobile port game that is currently available on Steam, Loot Hero DX by VaragtP. Now, those of you who watch these reviews regularly will probably remember that game from a previous review that I've done. This company is also responsible for the previously reviewed game Tap Heroes, which was another mobile port and was more of a clicker game than this one, which described itself as a simple little RPG. This game was released around the same time as its brother in July of last year, and it basically sees you using a kind of similar mechanic with a few changes. You progress through the levels by beating enemies, building up experience and loot to purchase upgrades, before you take on a big final boss at the end of each level to progress to the next one. Loot Hero DX uses similar 2D pixel graphics to Tap Heroes and does actually have a minor story in it as well. The land you're in has been attacked by an evil red dragon, and their magical powers have awoken evil creatures across the land. So this land is badly in need of a hero, and that's it basically as far as the story goes. So gameplay sees you charge across levels with your lance by holding down your mouse button in the direction you wish to charge, either to the right to progress through the level, or to the left if you want to backtrack, if you wish to grind out a little bit more experience from the respawning enemies, or collect a bit more loot. If you let go of the mouse, you actually do stop, which can be useful if you wish to recharge your health bar, which goes down when you get hit or when you run into enemies. And it also means that you can judge the situation a little bit. Periodically along the way you will pass inn-like buildings that also seem to double as shops. Not only do they heal your health bars to full, they will offer 4 abilities for upgrade, and of course every single time you upgrade, the next upgrade will cost more loot and more loot, so you know it's ever increasing amounts of golden loot to pay. These 4 abilities are attack, critical, defense and speed. Attack is pretty obvious. It raises the amount of damage you can do per hit of your lance. Critical increases your critical hit chance. Defense makes you tougher to knock down. Takes less health off your health bar per enemy hitting you. And speed increases how fast you can run across the level. Enemies will drop loot in the form of coins, gold and diamonds, as well as healing potions that will give you full health again. And at times a potion that will briefly give you invincibility and will basically allow you to plough through lines of opponents. So, how is it as a game? In a word, alright. Charging across the screen with your lance is fairly enjoyable, and it's much preferable to repeatedly clicking upon an enemy. Higher attack means you can dispatch enemies with a single hit. Sometimes you're high enough leveled versus them, and upon a critical hit, an enemy will go flying backwards off the screen, which is actually quite a funny little touch, and I rather enjoyed seeing that happen. The ability to backtrack through a level is also nice, because being knocked down upon losing all your health will make you lose a portion of the loot you have gained, and the costs scale quite highly for upgrades, so you want to keep your loot. The game itself also encourages you to go back and sort of backtrack a little bit, or maybe even replay previous levels to grind the loot and build up your amounts, and it is actually recommended that you do a little bit of that at the beginning. You will need to do it, believe me. That being said, once you've grinded out enough loot, you probably won't have too bad a time, especially if you get lucky with the drops of both the health potion and the invincibility potions. Each level is a few minutes long, and there is a little variety in enemies, with them getting progressively tougher as you charge forward until you run into the big final boss at the end, which you need to run into multiple times to take down. The problem with this game is that there's only 9 levels, and after you beat them, you're basically given the same 9 levels to run again, but at a slightly harder difficulty. And after you've done those 9 levels again, you're given the 9 levels for a third run with even more difficulty, and so on and so forth. You will also get a miner to generate gold for you each time you actually manage to make the circuit of 9 levels, but at that point you really don't need them. The loot that you gain per knocked down creature also scales with levels, so you can actually generate massive amounts of loot without ever really having to rely on your miners, which is a little bit of a problem. And so, other things about this game that I'm not really so keen on is that, as I said, you have the 4 abilities that you can upgrade. You've got your attack, you've got your critical chance, you've got your defense, and you've got your speed, which is, again, kind of similar to the sort of things you could upgrade in its sister game, Tap Heroes, but whereas Tap Heroes also had other things that you could buy, such as like pets and stuff like that, Loot Hero DX just doesn't have anything else. All you can really upgrade are those 4 abilities, and even if your character does actually change appearance as you upgrade, you know, again, those appearances kind of cycle through the same pattern over and over and over again, so there's not really much variety as far as, well, pretty much everything in this game. 4 upgradable abilities, the same 9 levels, not really too many creatures, although you do have a handful, which is nice. They scale up as you go. And, well, yeah, the variety in this game is a little bit lacking. And, I mean, well, with just 9 levels and a knowledge of how to play, which you can easily get just by trying this game out for a few minutes, it's pretty damn easy to get through this game in under 30 minutes for each circuit of the 9 levels. I'm really not joking here. It took me maybe 28 minutes to get through the levels the first time, and then on the second time round, because of how upgraded I was, going back to the only slightly tougher first levels, I really didn't actually start having any trouble with any of the creatures, or even get close to being knocked down, until around about the 7th or the 8th level, by which time I'd actually managed to build up a staggering amount of backlogged treasure to spend on the upgrades at the inn shops, so that I really would no longer have that trouble. It's not exactly a challenging game, I must admit. And it was also a little bit odd to record, with the first few attempts having the frame rate of capture fluctuating wildly between 10 and 60 frames per second, depending on the movement. And before you say anything about possibly it's the speed upgrade that's playing havoc with it, I should add that this fluctuation was actually before I discovered that you actually needed to manually turn up the speed of your movement in the in-shop menu, so it's really not even that that's at fault here. It's just basically this fluctuation in frame rate happened while my character was still going at the slowest speed that it could run in-game. It's not a case of a faster character varies the frame rate anymore, although really I dread to think what that would have been like if I'd tried it. As a game overall, it's okay. I mean, I certainly prefer it to its brother game Tap Heroes as a game. Maybe because I actually find that there's something a little bit more satisfying maybe about barreling forward recklessly towards the monsters and many creatures standing in your way, with only a massive lance between you and death, and sometimes that lance can have spikes or boxing gloves on it, and sometimes it's ridiculously thick, and, you know, it's kind of a little bit more fun from that point of view. I really did actually enjoy playing it for a while. However, as I said before, it is very, very short, and you can easily tell that this was a mobile port, and thus it's kind of suited to what a mobile game is generally for. To be played in short bursts while you're on public transport or when you can snatch a few minutes for entertainment. It's not a very challenging game, it's not a very long game, it's quite an easy game, but that doesn't make it a bad game by any measure. It's just not going to keep you occupied for a very long time. However, the price does kind of reflect this. It's only £1.99 if you are in the UK, and $2.99 if you're in the US. And there is also a little bundle that offers the game with the original soundtrack, which you can get for £2.79 last time I checked, or $3.99. So for that, it's a cheap, fairly fun little game for a few hours, and that's probably the best I can say of this game. It's fairly entertaining for a little while. You will probably beat it quite quickly, but, you know, for that price, you're not really going to be aching too much. You're not really going to hate it, unless this isn't your sort of game. And so with that does it for this review. Thank you for tuning in. I am the Predicted Cyborg, and this was a video review of the mobile port game Loot Hero DX on Steam for PC for the Sanitarium.FM YouTube channel. Remember, do stay tuned to this channel for more video reviews of more little games, and tune in to our shows at the website at www.sanitarium.fm for awesome music and awesome shows. I will see you next time. Goodbye.